Risk disclosure. If you do not have an account you can afford to lose, this video may not necessarily be for you. What is up, guys? This is KOJOFOREX, aka GBP Legend, aka Sniper Trader, aka King of Blues. Today I'm going to show you another very interesting but trivial, in fact very important trading lessons or video, right? You can call it a trading strategy, which is basically my full margin trading strategy, right? This is a trading strategy that I've been using for so many years to flip trading accounts, right? If you can recall, in the year 2020, when I flipped 3,000 Ghana cedis to 20,000 plus, right? It was also one of the major strategies that I implemented in doing that, right? Now, for us to be able to understand the whole process, right, it's pretty much a very simple strategy, but I'm going to be teaching you guys in episode, right? Today's episode is basically focusing on a few currency pairs, right? But before we even go deeper into it, I'm going to tell you exactly what currency pairs we'll be focusing on, right? And also, before we even get started, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that, before we get into the real details. Yeah, so if you just did that, thank you so much for being part of the KOJOFOREX family, right? We're heading towards the 50k subscriber mark. Yes, now to come back to what we are talking about, which is basically the full margin strategy, is very simple, right? Let's get into the details. We're going to understand three major rules, right? Now, rule number one is you must have an account size, like I said, you can afford to lose, right? I'll recommend you having a small account, and small account is relative, right? Somebody could say their small account is 500, somebody 1,000 is a small account, 2,000. You have to assess your financial conditions to know what a small account is for you, right? But I would recommend that 500 lower is good, right? $500 you can afford to lose, $200, $100, whatever it is, pretty cool for this strategy, right? Now, rule number two is we are going to be focusing on one kill at a time. Now, if I talk about one kill, I mean that we are going to be focusing on one setup at a time, right? Now, the one setup, it could be two currency pair on that one setup, right? It happens, right? Sometimes you can even have 3, 4, 5 currency pairs, but it's one setup. I'll go into details and then you understand. Sometimes it could even be a single currency pair, but fulfilling that one setup rule. Then the third one is the maximum currency pair we're using for this strategy is actually 3, right? So we're going to be using GBP USD, we're going to be using Euro USD, and we're going to be using USD Swiss franc. But along the line, I'm going to add gold. But for now, we're focusing on 3, which is GBP USD, Euro USD, and then USD Swiss franc. Now I'll show you exactly why I've picked these 3 currency pairs for this strategy. It is like very powerful, and it will change a lot for you if you're implementing this thing I'm going to show you in the full margin strategy. It's not really going to be a very long strategy video. It's a very straightforward, simple, but succinct, straight to the point, right? So let's get into the chart and then now understand the whole idea of the full margin. Yeah, guys, so before you even understand, when we talk about full margin in Forex, it basically means that you are exposing your whole account on a particular setup. Here, we do not regard risk management. That's why I said in the beginning of the video that if you cannot afford to lose your money, this video, you might not necessarily even want to continue watching it, right? It's okay for you to close this YouTube video and then not even continue watching at all if you cannot afford to risk that money, right? If you have $500 and then you're using a risk management and then you're thinking 1%, 2%, please don't continue watching this video. But if you can afford to expose that account and then risk it all to the market, right? But really focusing on what I'm going to show you, which has about 90% accuracy. In fact, let's say like 98% accuracy, then continue watching this video, right? So like, yeah, number one rule is that what we expose everything we have on the market. In fact, we expose everything we have in our account balance onto the market, right, per setup, until the market gives us that notification which says what? Not enough funds. I'm sure you've probably had that one way or the other in your beginning of trading, right? Where you place trade, you get to a point, you place another trade, the market tells you not much money, not enough funds, right? That's full margin. It means that what you have actually exposed all your trading capital onto the market at that particular time. It's very risky, but incredibly profitable if the market is going your way, and then that is what can let you flip accounts, right? Now I'm starting this episode because, like I told you guys, I'm introducing the SAGE, which is a small account growing expert, which is basically like the formulas that I'm going to be using to grow small accounts, right? My $100, my $1,000, my $500, my even $10. So I got to show you the perspective in which I'm using to grow those accounts, so that when you're watching it, you're not just watching theoretical things, but you're watching practical things as well, right? So like I said, I told you that we're going to be focusing on 3 currency pairs for now, which is GBP USD. We're going to also be focusing on Euro USD and then USD Swiss franc for now. I said later we're going to be adding XAU USD. Now, if you want to understand why I chose these 3, right, we're going to be using what we call cross-referencing and correlation, right? I've not really made any distinctive YouTube video covering cross-referencing and correlation. I'm pretty sure that will be detailed in the KOJOFOREX GOAT strategy, which is going to be released pretty soon as well, right? Now, we're going to be doing that in confluence with DXY, right? So if you've been watching my video for a while, you know that DXY basically is the dollar index, right? So DXY is the dollar index. Now, the dollar index is what a measure of a basket of currencies compared to the dollar. We're not going to go deeply into the dollar index now, but just understand it that way. Now, there is a close relationship between GBP USD, Euro USD, and then USD Swiss franc when we're talking about the dollar index. Now, what is that close relationship? That, like, if you understand from the basis of how I explained the DXY, it is what the measure of the strength or weakness of the dollar against other currency pair. Now, if you think about GU, right, represent GBP USD, if the dollar index chart is actually going up, it means that the dollar is strong. And if the dollar index chart is actually trending down, it means that the dollar is weak. So this is a strong dollar, and this is what? A weak dollar if we have the XY. So here, strong dollar, here, weak dollar, right? So now let's look at this. So we have GU, we have EU, which represents Euro USD, and then we have USD Swiss franc. Let's represent it by UC, right? USD Swiss franc. Now, if the dollar index is trending up, what you're going to see is GBP USD trending down. You're going to see Euro USD trending down, but you're going to see USD Swiss franc trending up. So what it means is that GU, Euro USD, they have inverse correlation with the DXY. And then USD Swiss franc has a direct correlation with the XY. So inverse correlation means that GU, EU, when the XY chart is going up, they will be going the opposite. If it's going down, they'll be going the opposite as well. But USD Swiss franc, if it's going down, the XY will go down. If the XY is going up, it will go up with it, right? But your point of reference has to come first from what the DXY is doing, right? So to be able to understand this strategy, first you want to look at, okay, analyzing the XY. Now here, you might not necessarily want to apply a whole lot of, insane analysis, drawing trend lines, Fibonacci, whatever it is, right? You're just going to be using candles and then trend formations, right? Now here, let's say I have this chart here, right? And I have the XY basically consolidating in this range, right? You can see clearly that it's been consolidating in this range for a while. And then we have subsequent candle breaking out of that consolidation range. So here we can see what this candle literally trading out of this range and then continuing down. What this easily tells us is what? There's weakness in the dollar, right? The dollar is dropping, is selling off, weakness in it. Concurrently, it should tell you that what? There's going to be strength in Euro USD, and then there's going to be strength in what? GBP USD. So you alternatively or concurrently want to straight away go into this currency pairs and be looking for what? A long position. And then with USD Swiss franc, what do you want to be looking for? A short position as well, because we are selling off on the dollar, and then these two have direct correlation, but this one has inverse correlation, right? Now let's look at briefly what happened to these currency pairs as the DXY was selling off, right? Let's look at briefly what was happening as DXY was selling off. So you can see here the DXY is selling off. Concurrently, if you watch GBP USD, what can you see? A push on the upside, basically also breaking out of this range here, right? Now the very candle that was showing that strength, we can see it from here, this particular one, right? So this is exactly where you want to come in with a full margin, putting all out on the market, right? Going hard in it, exposing all the capital, right? It's a full margin. You have to accept the risk disclosure before you continue. Now this one gives us 55 pips, right? Usually you don't even have time for stop loss on the strategy because you're going all out. And I'll show you practical example after this video in our next subsequent videos. Let's look at what was happening at the same time on Euro USD. In Euro USD, we can also see what it also broke out of that consolidation range, right, which is just here. Then we have what? That massive breakout after DXY showed what? Insane strength. Now let's measure the let's measure the pip for this one, right? The pip for this is also 70 pips. Imagine going full out on a $500 for 70 pips. Then let's look at concurrently again what happened on USD Swiss franc. Again, we can see that USD Swiss franc also broke out of that range just because the dollar index was selling off, and then we had what? This massive push on the downside as well, which makes a pip value of also 50 pips. So all out $500, going all out onto the market tells you you have no money, putting all the risk on with a trading knowledge and strategy which comes close to what? 99%. If you do it right, 99% accuracy, then you can literally flip that $500 to $1,000 or even 100% within a few minutes, right? Within a few minutes. Now, in subsequent videos, I'll be showing you how to stack up the positions, right? Position sizing. But let's take it a step at a time. Today's video is just to give you that idea into how to position your mind, accept that it's a full margin strategy, and then the currency pairs that we're going to be using for the subsequent video, I'm going to show you practically how to stack up. Let's say $500, how you add a position, what lot sizes to use. You don't just place one lot and then wait, or 10 lot or 5 lot and wait. I'm going to show you how you practically introduce your lot sizes into the setup where you're adding 0.1, 0.2 continuously like that until you fully have all your capital exposed on the market on this, right? So if you enjoyed this video and you want to watch subsequent episode, then you obviously know what to do. Smash the like button first so that it helps the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe onto this channel. Make sure you follow me on all social media at KOJOFOREX. Click in the link in the description to join the KOJOFOREX Telegram community. At the same time, click also in the link in the description to join my broker that I've been using, especially for this full margin strategy, which is Xness. And also make sure to share this video with all your friends, right, who are also struggling like you. It will go a long way to help them as well. Without saying much, I hope you enjoyed this video and I believe it was very educative and informative. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.